sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namami buddham gunasaagarantam santa sada hontu sukhi averam kayo jiguncho sakalo dugando gachanti sabbe maranam ahanca samanta cakkavalesu atra gachantu devatam saddhammang munirajassa sunanto sagga mokkadam Dhammaguru kalo ayam badanta Dhammaguru kalo ayam badanta Dhammaguru kalo ayam badanta Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Tihi bhikkave dhammehi samannagato yathabhatam nikkito evam niraye katamehi tihi akusalena kaya kammena akusalena vaci kammena akusalena mano kammena imehi ko bhikkave tihi dhammehi samannagato yathabhatam nikkito evam niraye. Homage to the exalted one, the worthy one, the perfectly enlightened one. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear friends in the Dhamma, now we are going to discuss one of the important discourses, that Akusala Sutta. It comes in Anguttara Nikaya. You know what is the meaning of Akusala? Akusala means Akusala and Kusala. There are two words in Buddhism, Akusala and Kusala. Akusala means unwholesome. Another meaning, that unskillfulness. Kusala means skillfulness, proficiency. What is the nature of unskillfulness? It means we are not clever to control our mind. Unskillfulness. We are weak. That is why it means Akusala. Akusala means unskillfulness. Kusala means skillfulness or proficiency. As much as we can develop skills on the path of liberation, gradually we can overcome evils, and also we are able to purify our mind by day by day. Our success, our happiness depends on how far we have purified our mind. Purification of the mind is the main purpose of practice in Buddhism. The most important thing that we have our mind. That is why Buddhism says, Mano Pubbangama Dhamma. Mind is the forerunner. Mano Setta Manomaya. Mind is the chief. And also mind medade. If we do something, mostly mind is mind acts as a forerunner. Mind always front. That is the nature of our life. If we can keep our mind pure and calm, it means our physical, mental and verbal actions are purified, good, or they are correct. If sometimes if our mind is purified impure, it means our actions, our words, our emotions are not correct. On the other side, if we do something with this impure mind, it means negative results come to our life. As much as we listening to what Buddha taught, little by little we try to keep our mind away from evils, and also we try to develop our mind with wisdom. That is the main purpose of practice in Buddhism. As we mentioned before, there are three major unwholesome roots that arise in our mind and bring us suffering. They are lobha. Lobha means greed. Greed or lustful desire or attachment. And also next one, dosa. Dosa means anger or ill will. And the third one is delusion or ignorance. Moha. Moha or avidya. These are the three unwholesome roots that arise in our mind and bring us suffering. In the primary level, we try to overcome greed and anger. That is the first level. But it is impermanent. By practicing generosity, by offering something to others, by practicing the contemplation of impurity, we try to overcome big attachment, greed or lustful desire. On the other side, by practicing loving kindness, little by little we try to overcome anger or ill will. That is in the very surface level. Even though we can overcome lustful desire and anger, still we have delusion. Buddhist doctrine especially focus on overcoming, getting rid of ignorance, delusion. That is the main purpose of Buddhism. The reason is that, although we have a balanced mind without greed and anger, any time that can come to our mind. When the environment is very pleasant and calm, we are okay, we are like ascetic persons. But when the environment is very complex, suddenly we get angry, we get upset, we have some kind of desire. That is the nature of our mind. If we don't see the world reality, if we don't see the impermanence, decreasing greed and anger is not difficult. But the important thing and also the difficult thing is decrease in ignorance. As much as we can overcome ignorance, it means in that level we have overcome greed and anger. It is like writing a letter under a light. When there are lights, if we write something, even though put off the switch, the letter that we wrote remains. Practicing wisdom, decreasing delusion also like that. As much as we can practice insight meditation, vipassana bhavana, then gradually we are able to overcome greed and anger automatically. However, in this sutta, Buddha has explained, if somebody does some activities with impure mind, physically, verbally and mentally, because of the wicked mind, impure mind, he has to be born in the lower realms, hell realms. Hell is world, down level. It is sometimes we can believe it, but don't worry. Even though we don't believe next life for hell, but this life is visible. If our mind is polluted, we have no happiness, we have no relaxation, we have no comfortable life. It is like going to hell. Then, if we can compare this situation, even though we can't understand the heaven or hell, we can understand this life. Although we are very rich, although our physical body is very beautiful, although we have a lot of facilities at home, if we are angry with somebody, actually we can see the beauty of our life. When we drive our car, if we have some kind of big attachment or lustful desire, even though our vehicle is very beautiful, comfortable, and also even though we pass very beautiful streets, flowers, trees, we can see the beauty of the environment and our vehicle because of our polluted mind. This is the sign that we are ready to go to lower realms. Buddha says here, if somebody does something physically, mentally or verbally with polluted mind, because of his impure mind, he has to be born in a lower realm. That is the nature of doing evils with impure mind. According to Buddhism, Buddha first explained the nature of lower realms, apaya or hell. That is the main challenge that we have in front of us. Buddha understood, realized very well, a lot of people who spend as human beings, after they die, they are going to the lower realms. Buddha understood this reality very clearly in his wisdom. That is why, first of all, I will answer your question, okay? Wait a minute. The very first thing is, Buddha showed us, Buddha pointed us the biggest challenge that we have in front of us. According to Buddhism, there are three major challenges in front of us. They are aging or old age, death and rebirth. Among these three things, rebirth and also the ability of going to lower realm is the biggest challenge that we have in front of us. Therefore, Buddha always explained the situation of going to the lower realms, and he warned and he gave the warning not to go to the lower realm by polluting your mind. Therefore, he explained the Apaya Magga. Apaya Magga. He explained this path not to go. He didn't guide to go there. Buddha explained this situation and dangerous things not to go there. Going there is easy, but coming back is so difficult. That is why it is like there is an example in Buddhism. There is a road, a street, which ends with a very big hole, with fire. There is a person who is blind, he is going on this path, street. The street ends with a big hole with fire. That person doesn't know because he is blind. There is an intelligent person in a hill nearby. That person, kind person, intelligent person, says that person not to go there. This is very dangerous. Buddha also like that. He knew the situation. When we do some evils, we have to go to the lower realms. That is the big dangerous thing that we have in our life. Therefore, Buddha explained the situation of going to lower realms, and he advised us not to go there. He pointed us how we overcome this dangerous situation, worst situation. That is the first thing. He pointed out not only the Apahaya Magga or hellish path, or the path of hell. I don't know whether this word is correct. Sometimes some persons use hellish path or the path of hell. And also Buddha pointed out the Sagga Magga. Sagga Magga. Sagga Magga means heavenly path, the path to heaven. Heavenly path. Heavenly path. Heaven means not only heaven, but coming back to the human realms. Both are the blissful lives. Buddha appreciated having a blissful life as a good benefit in our life. We can improve our mind. We can improve our intelligence in a blissful life. It is like some person says that coming to the human realm is like filling gas to our vehicle to go up. Then this is the place where we fill gas to our vehicle to go to upper levels. Okay. Especially living in the period of the Buddha, the time of the Buddha is very important. The thing is that we can understand by his advice how to develop our mind in the correct way, how to improve our mind in the correct way by doing very good deeds in this short life. That is why it's said that living in the human realm in the time of the Buddha, it's a very rare chance. And we can acquire a lot of merit, and also we can develop our mind to the maximum level. not only collect, not only earn good emotions, good deeds, but we can purify our mind and also we can overcome suffering completely in this life if we are intelligent, if we have enough dedication, courage, effort. That is the good chance. Here Buddha said in the Akusala Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, if somebody does some bad deeds, evils or demerits mentally, physically and verbally, he has to be reborn in the hellish realms, hellish world. On the other side, Buddha again explained the heavenly path. Next page. If somebody does something with pure mind, if somebody does something physically, verbally or mentally with pure mind, because of these merits, he has to be reborn in a blissful life, like in a human realm or heavenly realm or Brahma realm. The first thing is going away from evil, especially all unwholesome emotions can be included into three as greed, anger and delusion. And also all good deeds can be included into three: non-greed, non-anger, non-delusion. No anger, no delusion, no greed. Another way, generosity, loving kindness and wisdom. That is the merit. In this sutta, especially Buddha has explained how we overcome hellish path and also how we go on the path of heaven, Dhammagaru. This is the main purpose of explaining this sutta, discourse. But however, always we should be intelligent to know the deliverance path too, the path of liberation. That is also very important. It says it doesn't come here. It comes in other discourses. It is that Mokkha Magga. Mokkha means liberation, deliverance, freedom. The path of freedom, the path of liberation, the path of deliverance. Mokkha Magga, deliverance path. Deliverance path. These three paths that Buddha has explained, and also first of all, Buddha tried to keep us away from Apaya Magga, and also he guided us to go on the path of heaven and also having a good life, and also keeping us on the path of heaven. Buddha again explained that how we overcome this sansaric journey completely. That is why he explained the path of deliverance, the path of liberation. Then these three things are very important. If you have any question, you can ask.
Yes, two questions.
Yes.
So we do something with the bodily, verbal, or mental actions. What if we do with intention, right? So let's say I do something with bad intention, that's bad consequences. But what if I do something, I don't do necessarily with bad intention, but I don't do necessarily with good intention, just do something. Is that considered something bad, or is it neutral,
or sometimes it can be merit, sometimes it can be demerit, sometimes it can be neutral, in both ways. Although we are neutral, it is in ignorance. That is the thing. We can overcome anger and desire. It is not difficult. But the difficult thing is to overcome ignorance. Even though we are in neutral, we are mostly in ignorance or delusion. Sometimes we are okay, we have no problem, we have no any attachment, we have no anger with anybody. But if we think there are chairs, there are tables, flowers, all of them are outside, we are in ignorance. We are ready to go back to the world. As soon as we look at something, we can experience something. We experience because of something in outside. But that outside materials can be seen according to our eyes that we made because of our previous actions. Now, when we look at this wall, I can see beyond the wall. But there are some beings, they can see beyond the wall. Not only see, but they can go beyond the wall, through the wall. According to their karmic law, according to their karmic energy. You know, there are some ghosts.
Some people have more super kind of like basic paradigm, so that's why they can see more things.
Yes, that because of their spiritual development, they can see sometimes. On the other side, there are some beings like ghosts or some heavenly realm beings. They also can do some kind of activities. Sometimes, you know, now we can see this environment very pleasant because the eye that we created by our previous actions is good, meritorious. Then this environment is very beautiful. When sometimes if our karmic energy changes, then this eye can be changed immediately. For example, we have seen some people who are close to death. When they are sick, when they are going to die very immediately dead, then when their children come in to visit them, they are afraid of that. They are saying that don't come, don't hit me, don't kill me. They see their own children like enemies. When they bring some food or medicine, sometimes they see that the medicine or poisons or weapons or like that. Because of change in their eye which is created by karma. Don't misunderstand that these things are true. These things are true according to conventional truth, according to our eyes. Anytime if our karmic energy changes, our eye changes, our ear changes, our nose changes, everything changes. Yes?
So when they are dying, they really see like people coming from their past life. Is that true?
Sometimes, you know, if somebody has a very weak karmic energy, then they can see some lower realm beings who passed away as their relatives. If their mental condition is weak, if their mental condition is so strong, powerful with merit, then they can see some persons who passed away as their relatives who were born in the higher realms. Not only seen, but sometimes some heavenly realm beings come to them to bring them to there. That is the thing. That is why always we should try to improve our knowledge, understanding our mental condition, mental state. If we are weak mentally, with impure mind, then lower realm beings can catch us. They can control us. Not only controlling, but they can bring us to their world because of our weaknesses. And also, there are some stories in Buddhist history, like Dhammagaru, when Buddha was living, when he was near to die, Then some monks went to chant spirits to him. While monks were chanting him for blessing, then he said, wait. Then monks mentioned that this person tries to stop us. They stopped chanting and they went to temple back. They asked Buddha, what is the reason? Then Buddha said, he advised not for you. He told that thing to other beings which were unseen by you. There were some heavenly beings at that moment. They are waiting to bring that person to heavenly realm. He commanded to those persons, please wait until I listening to chant.
But the monks misunderstood
Yes,
that.
monks misunderstood that situation. Therefore, there are some incidents like that. Then, yes?
So, and that was going to be my second question. So because of our merits, we are born here, good merits in our past lives, right? But why some people or some kids are born, let's say, with handicap or blind or tumor, or in Africa where there's hunger, they can't, grow?
That is also the nature of karmic law. Our karmas are not same for everybody. You have done the particular karmas that it is identity to you. My karmas is different. While I am doing some merit, if I have disturbed others, if I have hit other persons, I can receive my good karmic results. But because I have disturbed others, I have that bad karmas too. Both are together. In the human realm, it is said that we are mixed of merit and demerits in the human realm. That is the nature of the human realm. The lower realms, their demerits are more than 80% demerits. Here we are 50%, sometimes 60%, 40%, 60% merit, 40% demerits. Sometimes there are some persons who have 90% merits and others are demerits. We as human beings don't do the same karma, actions. It is different from person to person. On the other side, sometimes even though we have bad karmas, actions that we did in our previous lives, it is not dangerous, it is not big, it is a little. Then, in very short time, we can overcome those results. That is why, even though some persons were born with some problems, like they have some problems in their face and teeth, after they were born, because they were born in a rich country, because their parents are rich, they can give some medicine for them. Those facilities also has been received by them because of their good karmas. Even though they have some bad karmas, actually they have done good karmas too. That is why they have these kind of advantages. But the same illness, disease that another person have, who were born in very lower country, poor country, he has no those kind of facilities because he hadn't done those kind of good karmas. That is the difference. If a God have created us everybody can be seen equally. That is the thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Especially in this level, doing merit. According to Buddhism, avidya paccaya sankhara. Mental formations arise because of ignorance. That is very important. Avidya paccaya sankhara. Sankhara means mental formations. According to ignorance, we create not only demerits, but merits too. What is that? Doing demerits completely because of ignorance or delusion. Killing other persons, stealing, sexual misconduct, all things are happened because of ignorance. But the interesting thing is, we mostly do merits also with delusion. How is that? Yes, when we do something, for example, when we offer dana or food to the monks or for homeless persons, if we think there is a person here like me, there is a person outside, I offer something. Before I offer these things, this person was here. After I finish my donation, that person remains. This concept is the nature of the ignorance. We will receive good results because of our karmic energy, good emotions. But still we are in the circle of the samsara. What is the highest contemplation, attention, awareness? That we should do good deeds with intelligence, wisdom. When we practice generosity or virtue or meditation, again and again we have to reflect on impermanence. We get all experience through our senses. Through our eyes, nose, ear, body, mind. These are the senses that we receive experience from outside. When we see something, my eyes, this physical eye is coming from my birth. But the eye that Buddha explained is that arises at the moment when form is here, when light is here, when my attention, consciousness here, when all of these conditions are together, then I have some kind of experience at the moment. That experience doesn't come to the present from the past. That experience will not go to future from the present. My eye arises at the moment immediately. After the conditions cease, the experience immediately ceases. But because of ignorance, we open a file. Anytime we can reopen that file. We open these files in sleeping. When we see dreams, we open these files. Then, not only sleeping, but when we remember something, when somebody has helped us, when somebody has blamed us, when somebody has disturbed us, when somebody has loved us, as soon as we remember that incident, our mind goes to the past experience, not only going to past, but our mind lives in the present past experience. Then we can suffer or enjoy in ignorance. Memory is not the fault. Don't misunderstand. As much as we practice mindfulness, our memory grows, develops, increases. What is the fault that we have to overcome? When we remember something, when we remind something, we should have an ability to understand, now I read my mind. The incident has already received. I read my own mind at the moment. That incident hadn't stated there. It hadn't remained there. I read my mind. When I remember somebody who has blamed me, if I am ignorant, then I get upset, I get angry. Because I think it's still that incident is happening. But that incident has overcome. Now, that person may be dead. That is why, when we remember somebody who has already died, when we remember that things, if we are ignorant that those incidents is still happening, then we are ready to go to that person. Anywhere that person was born, we are ready to meet that person again. Even though physically everything has burned, but still our memory is not burned. Mentally, we are ready to go there.
So that's meaning we are still in attachment with that, whatever the spirit or whatever we think.
Yes, actually, physically we have no attachment, but mentally we have attachment. The waste thing is the mental attachment. For example, now when I think my mom or my parents, my siblings, my house, if I think that things and persons are outside, or still they are there, then if I am ignorant, if I die here, immediately I am ready to reborn there, according to my mental condition.
Because you were thinking about that, so your attachment still there.
Yes.
That's why.
If my merit is powerful, I will be reborn as a human being. If my mental condition is more powerful, I will be reborn there as a God, as a deity around the environment. If my mental condition is weak, then I will be reborn there as a lower realm person, being. That is the dangerous thing in this samsaric journey. That is why Buddha always pointed out this situation. But if we are intelligent, immediately, if I remember something, that incident has already ceased. Now I read my mind. That mind also not permanent. That mental condition, that emotion, that intention, that consciousness also arises this moment according to mental formations. That mind also, that consciousness also ceases at the moment. If I am clever to see this reality, then I can remember anything, but it means I am away from the samsaric journey. Memory is not the fault. The fault is when we think something, if we think that it is outside, that is the ignorance. On the other side, if we think something, if we think that it was there before we think, after I thought, it remains there. That is also ignorance. That is also the sign of that we are ready to come back to the world. That is why Buddha said, day by day, when we practice merits, we have to develop our intelligence, wisdom too. What is the intelligence? Impermanence, dependent origination. Every moment my eyes arise, forms arise, my consciousness arises. When it ceases, immediately other sense, like my nose, body, mind, another sense arises, it also ceases. One time, at once, only one sense acts, then other 5 senses are dead. But because of the past of these senses, we are ignorant that all 6 senses work together. Like, when we circle some, fire things, like we, when we circle it, then we can see like a circle, because it is very fast. Because our mind is very fast. From sense to sense, our mind goes fast. Then we think that all 6 senses work together. But once only one sense acts, then other 5 senses are dead. Even though we have only one sense at once, 5 aggregates are together. 5 Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. Form, feelings, mental formations, consciousness, perception. Those 5 things arise together. We can't divide them. Those 5 things work as a group. Even though sense are alone, 5 aggregates are together. That 5 aggregates are also not permanent. It also arises at the moment, according to conditions. If we are clever to increase this intelligence, impermanence, again and again, then at that moment we have no attachment, we have no anger, even though we have no old age, sickness, death. That is the interesting thing is, aging, sickness, death arise because of the concept of permanent. If we see the impermanence, we have no space for death, illness, old age. For example, you may think your age. You feel your age when you think. If you don't think, you may not think I am 40, 45, 60, we can think. As soon as we remember, we think, then we are old. Not only old age, everything. When you think your car, you are an owner of a car. When you think your education, you are an educated person. When you think your parents, you are daughters or sons. When you think your children, you are moms or dad. This is the world. On the other side, because of we are here, we have directions, even directions. Now, as we explained last week, we may say that this is east direction, this is west direction, this is south direction, this is north direction. How directions arise? Because I am here. If I am not here, this is not the east direction. If somebody is there, then that person to that direction, that is also his direction. It differs from person to person.
I think the most important question is, for me, how can I practice the impermanence? Because I understand the concept, I understand the theory, I can practice a little bit here, but the moment that I'm driving or something, I'm thinking other things. I'm not thinking like that. What is the best way to really practice it and put it in my mind and be with the person the whole time?
There is not a particular method described to practice impermanence. You know how many methods are there we have to practice impermanence? 1,000 methods. More than 1,000. According to our characters, according to our intelligence, according to our effort, according to our characteristics, it can be changed. For example, we can reflect on my eye, impermanence. The form is impermanence. What is the form is impermanent? People can say that this table can be changed, sometimes it can be destroyed. Actually, it is not the impermanent. It is not the impermanence that Buddhism says. It can be understood by anybody. What is the impermanence that Buddhism says about the physical things?
You see every moment and then it passes away.
According to conventional truth, this can be seen forever, for a long time. But this table, this color, actually first we have only color. Later we understand other things through our mind. First we have only color through our eyes. Then that color arises this moment when other conditions are together. When light, my consciousness, I, all things. It is sometimes difficult to understand, but sound is very easy. For example, this sound. This sound is same to our other all experience. This sound was not here before I heard it. After I heard it, it didn't remain. Our all experience also like that. Before I saw this curtain or cloth, it was not here. Actually, physically we can say that it was here. It is true according to conventional truth, but when we are going to the ultimate truth, every experience arises when our senses are active. Not only we should have senses, but at that moment we have consciousness. For example, when I am looking at you, although my hand goes here and there, I can see it. My attention to you. For example, when we are talking here, a lot of vehicles are going on the street. If we keep our attention to there, then we can hear. Even though the sound of AC, since beginning, we are hearing. But now you can hear. When your attention goes there, you can hear. Without intention, even though sound is here, it is not active. Do you see some comfortable the chair that you are sitting here? When I say you, then you can see it. Now this is a very new chair on behalf of you. Then actually last days the person donated many chairs to here, especially for your class. Mr. Senivaratna, Anand Senivaratna, he offered.
That's nice.
Yeah. There are the 60 chairs downstairs. Actually, we are talking that about our experience. Actually, this is the impermanent. This should be understood by an intelligent person through listening to Buddha's message. Then, if we can keep this attention every moment, at that moment we have overcome suffering. When we remember somebody who has blamed us, if we are in this intelligence, then we can remember that incident, but we don't get upset. We don't get angry. When you remember somebody who has already passed away, when you remember that person, you remember some incidents which are already reached. They are not in the physical world. We read our mind. When we read our mind, the tears come away, fall down. What is the reason? Our mind goes to past and we live in that situation, then we can cry a lot. But if you are intelligent that now I read my mind, not the real situation, then we can remember anything without suffering, without lamentation, without worry.
So that's kind of like when you slowly you see what's happening. So that is like going to you walking the right path.
Yes, actually that is one of the signs that we are on the path of liberation. That is why Buddhism says Dhamma is sanditthiko, visible results, akaliko, immediately effective. As much as we can practice this path, intelligence, these teachings in this life, we can see the result, not hereafter. You know, we are so lucky. We know the way how suffering arises. But other people who are struggling, they don't know how the way that suffering arises. We are so lucky, we are so fortunate. We can overcome suffering anytime if we have dedication. But we should have not only this knowledge, comprehension, but we should have very strong attention, experience about this situation. For that, we have to concentrate our mind by practicing the meditation technique. We should calm down our mind. We should train our mind by practicing concentration. When our mind is polluted with hindrances, anger, doubt, restlessness, desire, lust, when our mind is polluted these unwholesome emotions, even though we are knowledgeable about this reality, we are not ready to comprehend it. We are not ready to live in that reality. That is why we have to purify our mind from negative thoughts, such as anger, lustful desire, restlessness, doubt. Those are the negative emotions which disturb our mind to see this reality. That is why when we are on the path of wisdom, we should have concentration. Concentration. Not only we should have concentration, if we are unable to concentrate our mind, it means we have no real discipline in our speech and behavior. That is why we should find virtue. Virtue also very important. If we have no virtue, it means we have no discipline in our senses. When we see something, we should have some kind of discipline in our eyes, nose, ears, body. Then there are many qualities are together as a line. Impermanence.
So pretty much means that find a way that you will know, you will understand, okay, I think this is the way.
If we can understand one way, the other ways automatically come to be understood. That is the thing. The main foundation, the basic foundation is the understanding of five aggregates. That is the foundation. There is other six senses, reflecting on the impermanence of six senses. That is also one of the way that we can practice. And also there are six outside objects like forms, sounds, smell, like that. There are many ways that we have to practice impermanence. As much as we are knowledgeable, we can practice, we can do some experiments in various ways. That is why we should be knowledgeable. When Buddha lived with us, Buddha could read our mind, how much we have developed our intelligence in past lives. Then he could have an ability to express the very correct path that we should practice. Now we have no such a person. That is why we have learned a lot of things, lot of ways, and also by practicing various techniques, we can choose what is the correct thing which is related to our character. When Buddha was living, when he met a person, immediately he read that person's mind, how much he or she has practiced five spiritual faculties in his past lives. Then he gave the real instructions to practice. But nowadays, we have to learn more, and also we have to do some experiments. What kind of things which is exactly right for us. On the other side, the special thing is, as much as we have concentration, we have joy, we are satisfied, we are happy, then it is like a motivation that we can go forward on this path. That is why, according to 7 enlightenment factors, piti or joy is one of the qualities that we should have when we go on this path. We go on this path, liberation path, with happiness. If we are not happy, if we have no virtuous enjoy, it means we are not on the path of liberation. As much as we practice this path, happiness increases. We are going in this path, laughing, enjoying. Because when our mind is very pure, then we can feel the happiness. We feel happiness. Also, the motivation which arises inside gradually increases day by day. Then we are hurried to go on this path. Although we have a busy life, although we have a lot of responsibilities in this life, we always keep this path in front. That is the nature of this path. Okay, especially understanding of the dependent origination is very important. Our path, our journey, the success of our journey depends on how far we have understood the dependent origination of Patisampada. That is why Buddha said, Yo Patisampadam Passati So Dhammam Passati. He who sees the dependent origination sees Dhamma. Yo Dhammam Passati So Mam Passati. He who sees Dhamma sees the Buddha. Seeing the dependent origination is the way to see the Buddha. Even though we can see the Buddha physically, we can see the Buddha mentally through seeing the dependent origination. Okay, have any question? Then not only having knowledge day by day, we should try to concentrate our mind. At least half hour per day, we should concentrate our mind by practicing any meditation technique like loving kindness, breathing meditation. There are several meditation techniques we can use. On the other side, we should try to do everything with mindfulness, awareness. Then we are away from demerits as much as we are in mindfulness. We have no mistakes. We have no struggles. And also the outside persons and things can disturb our peace of mind. They can't steal our inner qualities, inner peace, if we are in mindfulness. When we are away from mindfulness, it means outside persons and things can control us. Then we are like beggars. Then we should create a very strong mind that nobody can disturb. For that, we have to develop our inner peace. For that, first, we have to overcome anger and lustful desire. Finally, we have to overcome ignorance by practicing impermanence. Decreasing delusion depends on how far we practice impermanence with the knowledge of dependent origination. Overcoming anger and desire is not difficult. The difficult thing is to overcome ignorance or delusion. That should be our main purpose of our life. Every moment, if we can think, if we can reflect on impermanence, when you see something, be mindful to understand this form arises this moment. When you hear something, as soon as you hear something, be mindful that this sound arises this moment. When you eat something, be mindful this arises this moment. When you feel something to your physical body, when you touch something, be mindful this experience arises this moment. When you think something, when you think your mom, your dad, your house, your sisters, brothers, that intention arises that moment. It was not anywhere before you think. That emotions, mental formations arise at the moment. But because of our ignorance, we always think, before we think something, it was somewhere. It's meaning that we are in the sansaric journey. We are in the circle of the samsara. If any time you are in mindfulness and intelligence with seeing impermanence, at that moment you are away from the circle. Although it is a second, although it is instant, at that moment you are away from the journey, sansaric circle. Our duty that should be, if we are clever to increase the time that we practice impermanence, that is our real success of our life. Little by little, try to increase the duration that you practice impermanence. As much as we are clever to keep our mind in impermanence, at that moment we are away from suffering. We have no any suffering at that moment. Buddha said, when you are reflecting on this impermanence, if you die at that moment, your enlightenment, your passing away, and your death, all of them are together at the moment. It means you are not becoming. You have finished the entire journey from the circle. That is the interesting thing. That is the ability that we should develop day by day. Somebody can say that, no, I want to go in the samsaric journey. Don't worry, you can go, no problem. Because some people think that I like to be reborn, and also I like my children, I like my houses, vehicles, the world I like. Don't worry. By doing merit, you can come back to the human realm, you can live. But the thing is, when you come back, you meet not only your son or daughter, not only meet your very friendly persons. When you meet those persons, you meet their diseases, their illnesses, their aging, their lamentations, their separation. All of things are together. Not only your husband or wife or children. That is the thing. When we think that I want my son, I want my husband, wife, actually we can receive them. But the thing is, we will receive not only our beloved wife or husband, we will meet other sufferings too. All of them are together. When we meet, sometimes we will be separate early. We have to live for a long time with lamentation, worry. Although we have children, sometimes they are disabled, they have some problems, sometimes they are blind, deaf. We have to accept all things, not only our children. When they go away, when they disobedient to you, you cry. You meet not only beloved son or daughter, you meet everything when you meet somebody. You may think that my body is very beautiful, pretty, strong, I like this kind of body again. Okay, you can receive, but you will receive not only the young body, you have to go to old age, sicknesses, death, everything come together. Not only particular thing that you like. That is why we should increase the ability to overcome to this samsaric journey as intelligent persons.
So, if we are born in the heavenly realm, is it easier to attain enlightenment up there because it's more peaceful there?
Sometimes it is very easy, not at all. If we meet some good persons, virtuous persons who discuss Dhamma, who have achieved some kind of spiritual statements, it is easy to become enlightenment. But mostly, we can meet such a persons. Because of their facilities, sometimes we may think that it is very easy to practice Dhamma. But in this world also, last days we went to a doctor's house. She says that she has a very big house, like temple. Her husband also a doctor. We said that you are so lucky, you have a very good house, like a monastery, like a meditation center, you are so lucky. She says that, Bhante, if we had a few facilities, we had to develop our mind. Because we have a lot of facilities, now we have no chance to practice Dhamma. If we were poor, we have to practice more. Some person's attitude. but it is not true. Then I told her that I know a person who did only 4 years working. After finish, he worked 4 years, 4 or 3 years. He did a deposit and he finished everything. Actually, he was in the USA. He went to Sri Lanka. He closed everything, even green card. He went to Sri Lanka. He built a new house. Now he's like 35 or 36 years. He didn't get married. And he meditates, practice Dhamma. He did only 3 or 4 years work for his entire life. Having all facilities, now he is practicing Dhamma. But somebody, they say that because I have a lot of facility, I have no chance to practice. That is wrong attitude. Actually, if we have more facilities, it means we should not do jobs until we retire. We can get retired earlier. And having some kind of wealth, we can practice more before we are going to old age. If we are intelligent, we can practice Dhamma anywhere. You know, when Buddha was living, most of people who attained enlightenment, they were very poor. They were not rich. Few people who are rich, they attain Nibbana. Most of people are not rich. Then, you know, this is a very great opportunity. We should not miss this opportunity. As much as we can, we try to develop our mind. That should be our great duty in this short life. I think if you are knowledgeable, if you have enough knowledge, if you have dedication, if you are intelligent, then we can get some results through practicing Dhamma in this short life itself. That should be our main purpose, duty, responsibility in this life. We always should keep our practice in front than other all things. It doesn't mean that we should not do other things. While we do our duties, responsibilities, working, studying, while we do all things, if we feel the result of this message by practicing Dhamma, then the motivation develops, increases. Then we can see the result. That is a great opportunity, because day by day we are going to old age. We should get the result from this message when we are strong, when we are healthy. Okay, thank you for your coming. Now we are going to finish our weekly Dhamma discussion. Today we discuss Akusala Sutta. It comes in Anguttara Nikaya. Buddha shows in this sutta the path of heaven, and also Buddha explained how the persons who do evils go to lower realms. Here we have to learn that how we overcome going to lower realms, and also how we develop our heavenly path, how we receive a blissful life. Not only having a blissful life, we should try to get the result from this very rare opportunity. As intelligent persons, that should be our main purpose, duty in our life. Day by day, we should develop our knowledge about the dependent origination, impermanence, and also we should reflect on it again and again, not only while we are doing meditation, but any time. If we can keep our attention, then any time we can reflect on impermanence. When we drive, when we walk, when we work, if we reflect on this reality, it means always we are in a meditation hall. Yes. When we drive, if we can practice meditation, then our vehicle is like a meditation room. When we walk, If we practice meditation, then we are like in a meditation path. Then everywhere we are lighting a candle with intelligence. Then we are not alone. Then we have no fear. We are always lighting a candle with a hand. Okay, thank you so much for your good attention and participation. By the power of all these merits, may our departed relatives also receive these merits, and may they also enhance their spiritual energy. Finally, may they also attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's transfer these merits to our beloved departed relatives too. Idamme ñāti naṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñāti naṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñāti naṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. By the power of all these merits, may guardian deities and angels also receive these merits. May they enhance their psychic energy, and may they also keep their eye on you too. May they attain final bliss of liberation, and may they protect your beloved relatives. May they bless your departed relatives, and may they also attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's transfer these merits to guardian deities and angels too. Akasattha ca bummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditva cirang rakkantu sāsanam. Akasattha ca bummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditva cirang rakkantu desanam. Akasattha ca bummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditva cirang rakkantu tvaṃ sada. By the power of all these merits, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no problems come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May your all righteous wishes meet with success. May all of us attain final bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dukkham pantāca niddukkha, bhayam pantāca nibbhaya, sokam pantāca nissoka, hanto sambe pipanino. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.